New York City scams that you must avoid. Hi, I'm Megan, a licensed New York City tour guide, and I'm here to make sure that you are safe and you don't get ripped off during your trip to New York City. So I'm going to teach you tips and tricks about scams to avoid, and in some cases what you can do instead. But first, I need you to hit subscribe so you never miss a New York Minute.
Yeah, muffin talk. Muffin talk. Muffin talks, bringing healing to those who need the most.
One of the biggest scams in New York City are these people who come dressed up as characters. Behind me, we have, I think it's a Transformer, we have Deadpool, we have a Pokemon. We want to avoid them. Usually Times Square is filled with these people dressed up as characters from movies and television shows, and it's very tempting to run after them and say, oh my goodness, it's Iron Man, I want my picture taken with them. It's not free. They're going to want a tip, and they're kind of infamous for kind of getting a little rough if you don't give them the amount of a tip that they want. There was an incident, I think, where like a Cookie Monster punched a little kid. You don't want this to happen to you. So whenever I bring guests to Times Square, the first thing I tell them is to avoid the characters, avoid the mascots, just say no. New York City scam, say no. Behind me is one of our token Times Square characters. It's called the Naked Cowboy. People love seeing the Naked Cowboy. It's kind of the same as all the other characters. He's gonna want a tip, but he's one of the crazy characters that you can find here in Times Square. I do want to point out that in New York City, we have a lot of really fabulous street performers. So if you're interested in them, I strongly urge you to check them out. Some street performers that I would suggest include Pocket Size Statue, I believe that's his name. I'll attach his Instagram, and also Buddy the Rat. I will attach his Instagram as well. So you really want to support our amazing street artists, some of the crazier characters. Just be prepared to tip very well. When you're walking around Times Square, you'll sometimes be walking down the street and a man will hand you a CD, and he'll tell you that the CD is free. He'll tell you that he's an up-and-coming artist, and he'll ask you if you want him to sign the CD. And sometimes people say, yes, sign the CD. So they'll sign the CD, and then they'll say, that'll be $40. And you're like, what? You told me that the CD was free. And they're like, it's $40. They're like, you told me it was free. They're like, well, I signed it. And they'll actually chase you down the street trying to get these $40. I've actually seen, when I brought tour groups here, one of the girls took a CD once, and the CD guy, we call them the CD guys, actually called the cops on her for not giving her these $40 for a CD that she was initially told were free. If somebody hands you a CD on the street, you want to say no. Just say no. They are not an up-and-coming artist. That's not how up-and-coming recording artists get their starts today in 2021. Also, often if you get those CDs, they'll just be blank if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, it can contain a virus or something. So just say no to the CD guys. No CD guys. New York City scam. These are the famous red steps in Times Square. I strongly recommend that you visit the red steps. They're on 47th Street between Broadway and 7th Avenue. It's a great place to get a view of New York City. While we are here, I'm going to talk to you about another scam in New York City, which are the ticket sellers that you will see around Times Square. You'll sometimes see them down by Battery Park, by the boat where you would get to the Statue of Liberty. Ticket sellers are a bit of a complicated issue because ticket sellers are a huge part of any of our major attraction marketing teams. But not all ticket sellers are created equal. So what you want to do is you want to check to make sure that the ticket seller that you see on the street is wearing the uniform of the attraction that you want to see. So if you're trying to go to One World Observatory, make sure they're wearing a One World Observatory uniform. If you want to go to Empire State Building, make sure they're wearing an Empire State Building uniform. If you want to go in Circle Line, make sure they're wearing a Circle Line uniform. Otherwise, it's a scam. You do not want to buy your ticket from a random person wearing a Statue of Liberty hat. Sometimes the tickets are fake tickets. Sometimes they'll overcharge. I've heard of people actually charging money to get on the Staten Island ferry, which is absolutely free, so you don't want to do that. And sometimes these ticket sellers If they're not wearing the uniform of the actual attraction, these ticket sellers will sometimes work on commission, which means they only get paid if you buy the ticket. So what they're going to do is they're going to lie to you about what the ticket includes. They're going to tell you that your $25 boat tour also includes a helicopter ride and an extra speedboat tour and tickets to every observation deck. And then you're going to get the ticket and you're going to be like, no, the helicopter tour does not exist as part of this ticket, and you're going to be sad and you're never going to be able to find the random person wearing a Statue of Liberty hat again. So just say no to the ticket sellers trying to sell you tickets all over New York City unless they're in the uniform of the attraction that you want to see. Not in the uniform, it's a scam. Say no. Sometimes as you are walking around Times Square, people will hand you a flyer and say something like, do you like to laugh? And they'll try to sell you tickets to a comedy show. These are usually scams. They're gonna promise you that famous names are gonna show up to this comedy show. That almost never happens. The truth of the matter is that for most of these ticket sellers, they are up and coming comedians themselves, which is cool, but they only get to perform that night if they end up selling a certain number of tickets. They're trying to get you to meet their quota, and often the shows aren't going to be good, and even if the show is free, what they do not tell you is there's going to be a drink minimum, and those drinks are not going to be dollar beers. They're going to be really expensive drinks, so it's going to end up being a really, really expensive evening for you. So do not take comedy tickets from sellers walking around Times Square. We have lots of awesome comedy clubs in New York City. Check those out. But if it's a random guy handing you a flyer in Times Square, say no. It's a scam. Another scam that you will see all over the city in Central Park and Lower Manhattan on the Highline in Times Square is the monk scam. You will see people dressed up as monks walking down the street, and they're going to hand you something like a bracelet or a token. It looks a bit like a coin, and you'll think, oh yay, a monk is handing me something, and you will take it, and then they're going to ask you for money. They are not real monks. I've actually caught them like standing on the street counting their money. That's not very monk-like. So just know that that is a scam. Just say no if a monk comes up to you and tries to hand you something in New York City. Scam. The bag scam. This bag is not part of the bag scam. This bag was purchased at a department store. But what you will see as you wander around New York City is you'll often see people on Fifth Avenue in Times Square by Bryant Park, and they'll have a blanket put out and they'll have a lot of bags that look like they're Louis Vuitton bags or Gucci bags or Kate Spade bags. They are knockoff bags. I wouldn't necessarily say that it is a scam as long as you know that they are knockoff bags. They are not real bags. So if you're okay, haggling for a price for a knockoff designer handbag, more power to you. But if you're looking for real bags, you want to go to our real stores on Fifth Avenue and in Soho. Otherwise, if you're buying a bag on the street and they tell you it's real, it's a scam. Right now, I'm in a store called Grand Slam. I do not consider this a scam. I think this is a fabulous place to come and get souvenirs. They have a whole 99-cent wall where you can get like fun keychains and stuff that's only 99 cents. So if you're looking for a really great New York souvenir, this is a place to go. And to see more stuff that you should do in Times Square, make sure that you check out my Times Square video. Those are our New York City scams. What do you think? Did I miss a scam? Was there a scam that you experienced that you want me to tell others about on a video? Please comment below. My goal is to always have you have your very best New York City experience. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe. The more subscribers I get, the more I'm able to make videos and help you have fabulous New York City experiences. So thank you so much and enjoy New York City.